Hello YouTube. Well, that was an adventure. I just got off the Route 1 bus, which I hardly ever take because for the most part the Route 1 just parallels the light rail. It goes very few places that light rail doesn't go along Washington Street. So it's 4:24 p.m. Monday, April 4th, 2022, and I am standing on the corner of 7th Street and Washington. That's not the button I'm looking to press. Apparently there's not a button to cross 7th Street. And yeah, 7th Street is a pretty extreme Phoenix road. We got 3 lanes northbound, 3 lanes southbound, double left turning lanes from the center there onto Washington, although it looks like one is blocked for construction. And so much traffic that, as you see, people are queuing up in the lanes to the point that they're starting to block the intersection. So I really didn't know where the Route 1 went when it went into downtown. I was hurriedly trying to figure that out in the transit app. Not only where it went, but where it actually stopped. Because there's so many bus stops in downtown Phoenix, and so many buses that drive next to them, but then drive by that stop, or certain stops only service certain buses. And I've talked about that before. I honestly feel like that's rooted in classism. Oh, by the way, that's the stop right there, where the one drops off, which, interestingly enough, is one of the few bus stops that has routes marked on them. It says Route 1, 7, SME, SR51, and Rapid Drop-Off Only. And there goes a Rapid, not in service bus. And oh, that's a fun bus. I never mentioned that one. ASU, because the public transit system is so bad here, ASU has its own shuttle, its own bus system. Its own bus system that provides transportation for students or people who can pass as students between their 3 campuses here in the valley. The one in Glendale, which is located at like 59th Avenue and Thunderbird, and then the downtown campus, which is in downtown Phoenix, obviously, and then their main campus, which is downtown Tempe. You know, speaking of the ASU shuttle bus, and it only being available to students, while I mentioned that, it just occurred to me. So I've got one of my benefits of working for Amazon is that they'll pay for my education. And it just occurred to me that if I apply for just simply one class at ASU at Amazon's expense, I will be eligible to ride that bus whenever I want. Note to self, need to do that. So it's Heritage and Science Park. There's the Arizona Science Center. I'd love to talk about that, but I'll get sidetracked for this entire walk, so I think I'm not going to. But that's definitely a subject for a future video and a future day, because that's a place that means a lot to me and I have a lot of personal history with it. I dig that catwalk. I do love catwalks across major streets, as opposed to having to try to walk across them, and Washington Street through here is pretty much to walk through. Unfortunately, the only thing it really services is that gigantic parking structure, and I'm talking just gigantic parking structure, because let's face it, Phoenix is a car-centric city, and the most important thing downtown for the average Phoenician is a place to park their car. So, c'est la vie. All right, so at the end of the last video, I pretty much predicted my future. I was following the route of where Randolph Road used to be, between Van Buren and Washington Street, and just kind of shooting the fence line there. And I had mentioned that security was probably watching me, wondering what the fuck I was doing there. And I mean, just on cue. And I think I got a bit of the audio in the recording, and I quickly stopped recording. You know, just the right thing to do. And yeah, they immediately asked just exactly what I said. They asked. It was 4 of them. Wow. Asked what I was doing and if I was recording. And I was pretty straight with them. I told them that, you know, just trying to get myself down to Washington, take a direct route down to Washington Street to catch the light rail. Oh, I love these statues here. used to bring my daughter down here when she was a toddler, and I think that one was her favorite, that bug right there. She liked to climb on it and pretend she was riding the bug. Oh, and this one's pretty cool too. Some giant caterpillar, I guess. I like that. I'm not quite sure what the heck is going on in front of it here. Looks like tiny little people. Tiny little people feeding the caterpillar pellets. Pretty freaky. And that's like the most Arizona thing ever. We got a freaking scorpion. And it looks like the scorpion is either being serviced pellets by the tiny little people, or if they don't service the scorpion, it eats them or puts them on its head. I don't know. Some pretty trippy statues, and I don't know that I've ever noticed the little tiny pellet people on the statues before. I only ever really noticed that it was a bug and a scorpion and a caterpillar. Caterpillar looks pretty dang cool from this angle. But yeah, I never noticed the little pellet people on it and getting crushed by the scorpion and losing their pellets. Interesting. Love public art, especially when it's cool like that. So I'm now at the Phoenix Convention Center, the south end of it, and those are the loading docks over there. And so we got some kind of construction, something going on up there. There's a guy in a lift. That's interesting. As you see in this part of downtown, I'm I don't want to say I'm the only person walking. There's somebody walking over there, but yeah, even downtown Phoenix, very much car-centric. I mean, here I am during what would be arguably a peak time of the day, 4:31 on a Monday, and there's only one other pedestrian. He's more focused on looking at their phone than anything else. Anyway, this is the convention center to the north. That building to the south, also part of the Phoenix Convention Center. It's one of the older convention center buildings. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about the... and here's a sign to let you know what's going on at the Phoenix Convention Center. Yeah, I think that sign sums it up way better than I could put it into words. But yeah, this entrance blocked by cones because, well, it's a pedestrian entrance, and who the hell walks in Phoenix? There's no car accessibility here, so the main entrance is on 3rd Street. All right, so I do like there's some benches, places to sit. Not that I'm looking to sit right now, but it's always nice when you're walking to have some place comfortable to sit. And don't forget that you got to have hostile, I forget what it's called, urban hostility or hostile architecture or something like that. Yeah, those bars in the middle that look like there may be armrests, yeah, those aren't there for the comfort of anybody's arms. Those are there to prevent homeless people from lying on those benches. Of course, the joke's on them. Those people clearly don't care about it, and I don't... Is that how you swing? Is that how you swing? Nice. Yeah, we got another sign with nothing in it. As you see, yeah, the bars don't keep the homeless people away from the benches, and joke's on them. If I want to lay down and take a nap on that bench, I'm thin enough that I fit underneath those bars quite comfortably, and like the way they kind of cradle me and protect me. We got some people going into this. A few more pedestrians here. Some people going into that area of the convention center. So I'm headed to, by the way, Taco Bell Cantina because that's just kind of become my favorite place to kill time while on my way to work at Amazon, and I'm running kind of early today. My last diversion, my last video started at U-Store. I was just bringing some recycling there. I had a big bag worth of recycling from out of the kitchen, and it does take some effort to get that down to my storage, but I'm still doing it. Oh man, there's an escalator that goes up and it is out of service. That sucks. So I'm in the Collier Center now, which is the building and complex that has Taco Bell Cantina in it. And here we see a directory and showing what's on the 2 levels and suite numbers and the businesses that are in them. And as you can see, level 2 is pretty much vacant. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vacancies on the first level as well. But hey, it's for lease. For lease, if you want to locate your business in a walkable part of downtown Phoenix that nobody walks in, pay some sky-high rents in the Collier Center. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about the Level 1 Market. Closed at 1:30 p.m. Tuesday through Friday. It wasn't even open today. Yeah, it's one of those businesses I might actually like to patronize if they were ever open when I walked by them. Anyway, so I was talking about my walk along the route of Randolph Road, and yeah, security had approached me. To be completely fair, oh look, we got cornhole here. That's nice, and all the stuff is here to play cornhole with. There were only other people here to play cornhole with in this nice public space that apparently nobody uses. Actually, I'm going to use this chair and sit down and tie my dang shoes. My left shoe is untied as per usual. Yeah, because I've never really figured out how to tie my shoes and get them to stay tied. So yeah, 4 security people approached me and asked what I was doing, if I was filming, and I told them that I was trying to get through to Washington Street to the light rail. And because there's a real lack of ways to get from Jefferson Street to from Washington Street to Van Buren Street, and I think that's one of the things that where Phoenix fails at being a maybe walkable city is giant blocks where there's no cross streets, where you've got a major street with transit on it, and another major street with transit but not much transit on it, and those streets. Washington and Van Buren, they're about a quarter mile apart, maybe just a little more than a quarter mile apart, maybe a little less than a quarter mile apart. I'm not exactly sure. Actually, I think they're less than a quarter mile apart, and they parallel each other. It's equivalent of 2 blocks. Well, three city blocks 3 downtown city blocks apart, and they continue on that parallel going east of downtown. But once you get on the other side of pretty much on the other side of I-10, there's an extreme, like 25th Street goes through. Once you get on the other side of 25th Street, there's an extreme lack of cross streets that connect the streets. You've got a lot of large industrial businesses, and just no pedestrian footpaths to allow the people that work at those businesses to access transit on the adjacent street, which is a pretty big deal when you consider that light rail and the Route 1, and in that area where I was, also the Route 32 service Washington Street, whereas Van Buren only has partial service because only a small portion of the Route 3 buses go east of 32nd Street to service that stretch. So a lot of times if you're there on that stretch of that mile-long stretch of Van Buren Street between 40th Street and 32nd Street, and mind you, a lot of people live there. A lot of people that are really struggling to get their life on track live there, because there's some very low rent hotels and apartments, weekly pay apartments there, as well as a couple of large homeless shelters. So these are people that are legitimately trying to get their life together and could really use access to the transit on Washington Street. But on Van Buren Street, other than the way that I cut through on Friday, on the back end of Gateway Community College, there's not a through street, I believe, all the way to 32nd Street. So that makes for a lot of walking to get to a street that's only the equivalent of 3 blocks away. It would be really nice if there was a pedestrian path where Randolph Road used to be. That would help a lot. Anyway, what I ended up doing was I told them that's what I was trying to do, and that I was also shooting a documentary about a street that used to run there 100 years ago, called. Or a road that used to run there 100 years ago called Randolph Road. And I was trying to explain to the main, the person who pretty much took charge as the, security person who wanted to question me. It was, all things considered, I think she was kind of nice. I was trying to explain what Randolph Road was and where it went, and that it used to run from the rural farmland north of Phoenix to Tempe, when Tempe was a small agricultural town. And she didn't seem too interested in Randolph Road, and I don't think anybody really is other than me. But she's like, well, you're a long way from Tempe. Yeah, no shit. Anyway, I'm just like, oh yeah. I said, at this point, I'm just trying to get the segment that ran between Van Buren and Washington, which ran along this wall here. And she's like, oh. I said, but I didn't. I said from the aerial view, it looked like it'd be possible to walk through here. I didn't realize there was going to be a gate here. And she's like, well, you can walk on the other side of the building. And I'm like, well, okay, thank you. Went on my way. Obviously, they didn't want me to record on the property, so I didn't record anything more on the property, because that's certainly a reasonable request. But I didn't see any signs posted that said, no photography or no video recording. And obviously, any video recording is allowed in a public space, but that was private property in a private space. But again, until I'm notified that I'm not to be recording video there, which I was, once they talked to me, that's that's pretty much a gray area. So anyway, I wasn't trying to take any photos to expose Bimbo Bakery or any of their operation. I was just merely trying to get some footage of the route of where Randolph Road used to go. So yeah, I just, at their direction and with their permission, I walked around that big warehouse building and through the parking lot on the other side, which I believe I've vlogged through, walking through before. In the future, I won't be shooting video when I walk through there again, because they have actually asked me very nicely not to do that. I was planning on, my plans as I was walking through there, was to start shooting video as soon as I got to the sidewalk on Washington Street, and then show what I could of the Randolph Road alignment, what you could see looking into the property from Washington Street, which of course they have no right to tell me not to film that, because it's publicly visible from the street, and they have no expectation of privacy of that. I've researched the laws on this shit, what can I say? However, once I got to Washington Street, the first thing I checked, it should be the first thing anybody who is a pedestrian checks, is the Valley Metro Transit app to see if there were some bus options that were closer than walking down to the light rail station. And lo and behold, there was a bus stop just barely to the west of me. And there was a Route 1 arriving in about 2 minutes. So I went there. And that brings me to here at the Collier Center, about to walk downstairs to the Taco Bell Cantina. There was another person, another blue-collar worker, still in his safety vest waiting at that bus stop. And we had a great conversation about, actually what kind of sparked him and I talking was somebody rolled by on some kind of an electric unicycle. It wasn't a one-wheel, it was something with a bigger wheel. Like his feet were on either side of it, and the wheel, I would say, was probably about an 18-inch wheel. The wheel, I would say, went to his knees. So, no idea what that was, but it was pretty neat. He whizzed by me pretty quick. Kind of startled me, because I wasn't expecting anything moving that fast on the sidewalk there on Washington Street. And right where the bus stop was, there was what looked to be kind of a historic building that was all boarded up. I'm really curious about the building, and I do want to go back and get a better look at that, and maybe some footage of it. But anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. I had a good conversation with him. He's working for a temp agency, I think called Ready Work or something like that. And I was telling him about how I worked at Amazon and gave him my referral ID to get a job at Amazon. Told him that yeah, I don't think my warehouse is hiring, but I think they're hiring at PHX3, and told him where that is and how to get there via bus. And also told him that I gave him my referral code, so hopefully it'll work out for him. You know, I mean, the reality is Amazon I think only starts at like $15.75 an hour, but it does offer good hours, good benefits, and it's a stable employer. So for somebody who's working for ReadyWork, which is a temp agency that you have to go down to at a certain period of time and hope that they have jobs for you, and then hope you have a way to get to the job that they're sending you to, steady work at Amazon would be a definite improvement for that guy's situation. So hopefully it works out for him, and hopefully he follows through and gets his bonus for using my referral code, and I get a referral bonus for referring him. Anyway, on that note, this was not a 20-minute walk, but I enjoyed getting all this off my mind and sharing it with you. And it's time to go into Taco Bell Cantina and enjoy some sodas and burritos, and wish I wasn't on my way to work so I could enjoy some beers and drinks, because they do have that here.